So I've done it again. I pulled out my dehydrator. I didn't let myself get discouraged from my whole garlic debacle. If you haven't seen that video, check it out, but only after you've watched this one. But anyway, so it didn't discourage me. I'm dehydrating again today. So what am I doing? I am going to pull out some celery, because I have all this. And while I'm doing celery, I am going to be doing as well a few carrots for good measure. Why am I dehydrating these vegetables? It's really great to have these dried vegetables on hand if you want to make like a soup or a stew, or you have them close by, they're dehydrated in a bottle, throw them in your soup, and you have a nice, quick, easy soup. Another reason as well is that if you come across a great sale in the store and you buy a bunch of vegetables like celery and carrots, and you can do onions and garlic and all kinds of different vegetables. You can dehydrate them, and you can buy a lot, dehydrate, and store. If you dehydrate them properly, they can stay good for up to a year as long as they've been really well dehydrated, all the moisture was removed, and they're stored in a nice dry environment. They will last a long time. So it's great to have on hand. You can also dehydrate vegetables and create your own like soup jars, you know, like those dried soup jars that you layer all your vegetables in, your dehydrated vegetables, and you just add your liquid and you've got a soup. That would be a great gift as well. So lots of good uses to have dehydrated vegetables on hand. You can also dehydrate fruit, and fruit is a good snack to have on hand, especially if you're going hiking or you're away for a few days at a time. Fruit has a tendency to go bad. They're bulkier, they're heavier. Dehydrated fruit is very healthy. It won't spoil, and it's a great healthy snack to have with you. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we need to prep these vegetables. So you need to wash your celery well and slice, and you also need to peel, wash, and slice your carrots. The more evenly you can slice them, the better they'll dehydrate in your dehydrator. So let's get going. You're going to peel your carrots, and I will be saving these peels to give to my chickens because I got my chickens about a week ago, and they absolutely love pecking at these carrot peels. So a little treat for them as well. Everyone wins. Now that everything is washed, peeled, it's time to slice. So I'm going to do these separately. As you can see, I didn't throw away the leaves. These leaves are great dehydrated, so don't throw them out. They really add a nice dimension of flavors to your dehydrated celery. You can use them to make like a celery powder as well, or anyway, don't throw them out. They're little gems. If you can slice your celery really even, it'll dehydrate better. It'll just be more consistent in your dehydrating time. That being said, I'm not very good at slicing anything. I feel celery is like a love-hate. I'm trying to do this with my right hand. What am I doing? I'm going to kill myself. I feel celery is one of those things where it's like a love-hate relationship. Some people really love celery and some people hate it. I happen to love celery. My husband hates it. Celery seems to be one of those very underrated vegetables as well. Like, it's a great source of antioxidants. It contains an antioxidant called luteolin. It's actually an antioxidant that protects your brain from inflammation, cognitive aging, and neurogenetic diseases. And it can really greatly enhance memory, learning, and spatial awareness. And remember, when you're dehydrating vegetables, you want to have a fresh product, because if you start off with a product that's kind of going bad, you're not going to end up with a nutrient-packed end product if you're starting with a product that's going bad. So always use nice, fresh produce. Now that everything is cut and sliced and washed and peeled and everything that's done to it, there's one more step that we need to do before we can put these in our dehydrator. We need to blanch these vegetables. So blanching the vegetable gives you a better end result by neutralizing the enzymes inside of the vegetables and creating a better flavor, a better color, a better end result. It's not a necessary step if you don't want to do it, but it does give you a better end result, a more nutrient-packed vegetable at the end of the process. So up to you if you decide to do it or not. If you want to skip this step, you can, but it doesn't take long. Celery, it's 2 minutes, and carrots is 3 minutes. So all blanching is putting your vegetable inside a pot of boiling water, bringing it back to a boil, then timing it for the appropriate time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then putting them in cool water just to bring them to room temperature. It's better to do this in smaller batches so that it doesn't take too long to come back to a boil, and you're not cooking them, you're just blanching them. So now let's load our trays. You want to make sure when you're putting your vegetables on your trays that you leave enough space in between so that the air can circulate. It's really important. If you overcrowd it, if you put them one on top of the other, they won't dry any faster. So make sure to leave lots of room, lots of circulation between your vegetables. So let's load our trays. On the third tray, I'm going to do 3 trays of celery. On the very last tray, I added a mat, just because I know that the celery is going to get smaller and smaller and start falling through the holes. And just so they don't fall right to the bottom, I am putting a mat on the bottom. So now we load our celery, spacing them out. And this is good. I tell you, it gets surprisingly small. Like it turns into little nuggets, basically. And then the carrots. Some are falling through here as well. At least these will fall just right through the bottom. I do have other mats, but the other mats that I have are solid. There's no air circulation. It's more to make like fruit leather or vegetable leather. So I'd rather not use them because I think it will slow the drying process. I am now going to plug these in and start them drying. As you can see, my dehydrator conveniently has the temperatures that I need to set my fruits and vegetables. So it is saying 135 degrees Fahrenheit or 57 degrees Celsius for my dehydrated vegetables. I expect, and I have gotten so bad at guessing how long things take to dehydrate, that I'm going to say at least 10 to 12 hours, expecting a lot more than that. Probably not 4 days like my garlic, but it should take a good 10 to 12 hours, especially the carrots. The celery may be a little bit less, but the secret to dehydrating vegetables is to make sure to check them often to make sure that they don't over dry. A dried vegetable is crisp. It can't be soft at all. When you try to bend it, it has to break, otherwise it's not dry. And if it's not properly dried, you're going to get mold and it will not last. So make sure your vegetables are very well dried. So let's plug this in and then we wait. Time is up and I am so excited to show you how this looks. Take a look at how they turned out. Now when I tell you that they shrink in size, they shrink in size. As soon as I start touching this, they're all gonna fall through. So look at how the celery went from being almost a full tray to almost having an empty tray. And when I tell you that these need to be brittle and they need to break, that's when you tell they're dry. They're crispy. So this is the celery. And underneath here we have the carrots. They got a lot smaller as well. And same thing, they came out very crispy. Can't break them. I guess it's a good sign. They're pretty dry. I can't break them. They're too hard and too small. again, remember I had those full trays. Remember how I had those full trays of carrots, and they've gotten just pretty much as small as the celery. Some of these have even, oh, and more are falling. Some of these have, a lot of them have fallen to the bottom, which is all fine. So that's it. This is what I came up with. I had 3 trays of celery, and it gave me, what are these, half-cup bowls? So I had like 3/4 of a cup of the celery, and these are the leaves. They came out beautiful. The color stayed nice. It's still very nice. And I have gotten a little bit more celery. Like the bowl is almost full of celery. They're beautiful. The color is absolutely beautiful. And it actually took the time that it was expected. So the celery a little bit faster, around 9 to 10 hours. And I left the carrots there maybe an hour and a half more for good measure to make sure that they were completely dry. So there you go. 3 trays of celery and 3 trays of carrots, and this is what I got. The nice thing about dehydrating, it takes a while, but it's not as if you have to stand there and watch it. You just need to check on it. So it's one of those things where you prepare it, you leave it, you forget it, and you check it once in a while. So it doesn't ask for a lot of manpower. Let me know in the comment section what you do with your dehydrated vegetables, and in future videos I may show you what I will be doing with mine. So stay tuned and watch out for that. So I do hope you'd enjoy this video. I do hope you enjoy my content. If you do, give it a big thumbs up, and be sure to check back again soon to see what other content I will have coming out.